Days later, on social media, I think it was on Twitter or something, on one of WWE's Twitter accounts, it might have been their main one, they tweeted out a link, maybe it was on Instagram, I can't recall, of Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, Goldust, who's great. I love him. I know him. He's a great guy. He's a great worker, and one of the more respected guys in our business. He's badass. I love him. And he was helping Ronda. He was helping Ronda on the basics of a side headlock and how to lock into side headlocks and how your hand control needs to be on a lockup into a side headlock. I mean, really pull back the curtain. I gotta be honest with you. I was a little surprised. Not at Goldust, at WWE exposing this. I wasn't a fan of it, to be honest. And they're showing a true veteran, a true pro in Goldust teaching I would never have done this. True pro in Goldust teaching a novice, a green talent in Ronda Rousey, how to, from a tie-up, a lock-up, properly go into a side headlock. And everything that Dustin said was spot on, exactly correct what he did. I would never have done this. I would never expose it like this. That's just, I'm a little, again, not Dustin's fault. It's WWE wanted to put that out there. I don't know why you would do that. I just don't know why you would do that. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I don't know why you would show Ronda Rousey that vulnerable. And Ronda was all ears, respectful, listening, and they're tweeting away or putting this on IG. Like, what the heck is going on? Really? I mean, I understand it's a work. People know it's a work. They know if this was a shoot, Ronda could probably beat up all the girls on the roster. I got it. But come on, credibility, and not show her trying to learn how to lock up backstage, not at a dojo. This is backstage at a show. Showing her how to lock up into a side headlock. And kudos to Dustin for teaching her and teaching her right. I strongly doubt that Dustin said, hey, get the social media guys here. I want to show her how to go from a tie-up into a side headlock the proper way, and the footwork and the hand motions. I want to show her. So let's put this on Twitter. I really don't think Goldust did that, okay? He's not like that. He's not going to do that. I'm not blaming either of those two talents, Goldust or Ronda. I blame WWE. I just think this is pulling back the curtain too much on the wrong person. On the wrong person. If you want to do that with a guy or a gal who works for NXT that's on the come up, fine. Not with Ronda Rousey, who your women's champ is saying, I want to face her to prove something. Come on. Like, it's a little bit, like, weird. Now, look, maybe I'm overthinking this. I don't think I am. And if you want to try to change my mind, good luck. It's not going to work. This is kind of like, I just don't, I explained succinctly what I had a problem with it with in detail. So I'm not going to go on anymore about it. And that's just basically how I see it. And I'm not changing on it. How about that? I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. My mind was blown watching this on both ends. Like your champion saying, I want that challenger to prove something. Why? You're the champ. And then, we're going to show on Twitter that this young lady doesn't know how to do the proper hand motions and technique and footwork from a tie-up into a freaking side headlock. Like, I don't know. All right, guys, look, this is the before Raw. So I hope, because there's a couple things. I'm not going to give a full Raw preview, but a couple things on it I want to talk about that jump out to me. Something with Bobby Lashley and something with Nia Jax. I just want to jump into that a little bit because I have some thoughts and opinions on it. I think you guys might be interested to hear. So I will do that in a second. First, I want to let you know, guys, that support for the Okay, so on Raw also, they got a dealio here with Nia Jax, right? Because she's going to defend her title eventually here against against Ronda Rousey. I'm laughing because, like, it's I like how they did it from the upfront at the NBC Universal, meaning that Nia Jax, she chose Ronda Rousey to be her next challenger for the Raw Championship, the Raw Women's Championship. So, and Ronda Rousey obviously agreed, a couple of things I want to. I don't remember if I talked about this recently on a podcast after this happened. This thing with Nia and Ronda. I don't remember if I did. So humor me if I did. I don't like that. I mean, this is the old school in me, and I feel I'm the best of new school and old school, but this I'm not changing. I feel like the challenger's got to come to the champion. The challenger that's how you get in, should want the champion. The champion should say, I want the challenger. Okay, because then I feel like you're putting the champion, Nia Jax in this case, in a position where she has something to prove against another competitor. And I know it's a work, I know it's entertainment, it's a show, but I get wrapped up into the realism of it. You should. As fans, you should, because that's how you get engulfed in. That's the beauty of being a wrestling fan. And when you work in the business as a wrestler or an announcer or a trainer, you really have to get wrapped up in the realism of it. You guys know, you've read it all, you've heard it. Oh, Tazz was a hard ass, he was a schmuck, he was a douche backstage, because backstage I was the human suplex machine. In my mind, I was the killer, I was a mean, nasty, angry loner, and I didn't need or care about anybody. And that's how I showed up to work, and I had to get in that mindset because I lived I did live the gimmick, no doubt about it. And I'm proud of it, and that's what got me over. But I digress. So I don't feel that the challenger should be sitting back, and then the champion says, I want her. And even on Raw as a title, I saw it over the weekend on WWE.com. It was something like Nia Jax or WWE Women's Raw Champ. She's like as a hook to Raw. She gets ready to get ready to face the baddest woman on the planet. Like, no. Why should Nia Jax? Why should that be a heading? Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I just pulled it up. Nia Jax prepares to face the baddest woman on the planet. No. No. The baddest woman on the planet is preparing to face the most dominant woman on the roster in Nia Jax as the Raw Women's Champ. That's the title. Okay. Nia should be preparing. Ronda should be preparing for Nia, not vice versa. No, that's not how this goes, guys. I'm sorry. You shouldn't do this like this. I'm sorry. So, look, I'm going to get even deeper with this. And this is no disrespect towards Ronda Rousey. I think she's going to be great. I put her over a lot out here. I told you that. But she's obviously green in the ring as a professional wrestler. Jeez. All right. So you do something like this where the women's champion, Nia Jax, she's preparing to face the baddest woman on the planet. And at the upfront, the NBC Universal upfront, Nia says, I want to face Ronda Rousey. Okay. All right. So you have something to prove as the champion against the challenger. Got it. Okay. Which I don't like that. Okay. Not blaming Nia, inviting. Got going on Raw, is they're asking the question, basically, I saw this over the weekend, how will Sami Zayn kind of expose Bobby Lashley? And Sami Zayn basically, the whole thing with the three sisters that we've talked about with Bobby Lashley, where you guys, I mean, I would assume most of you guys know the situation, that the storyline they got going on, where Sami Zayn is inviting Bobby's sisters to Raw. Now, it should be interesting because like I told you, this whole thing with Bobby Lashley and the three sisters is very interesting. I predicted when I first saw that sit-down interview with Renee, I believe it was, with Bobby, that we would see these three sisters, or at least one of them. And I got a funny feeling one of them, maybe not all three, one of them, or maybe it'd be all three, I doubt it, would end up being more of like maybe the mouthpiece for Bobby, maybe. The picture he painted of, if I remember, trying to remember, of one of the sisters, I can't remember the name, but was very like alpha and female, type A, in your face type thing, aggressive. So he sold it great, Bobby. So that's what I'm thinking. All right, well, yeah, once that happened, it was like ding in my head. And then once the interview was wrapping up, if you remember what Renee, I think it was Renee, it wasn't Charlie, it was Renee. I got confused on who's on what show. But